COP28 is significant because at this COP we have to make sure that we look at what pledges have translated into commitments, and because many of them have, how many of those commitments or the resources made available by those commitments have actually reached people on the ground. Development Alternatives is doing a lot to address the challenges of sustainability. Of the many initiatives at Development Alternatives, there are several that focus on how clean energy can be used for development that has significant economic and social impacts. Because we've always been great believers at Development Alternatives that unless you're looking at the well-being of people and the well-being of nature, there's one, very little you can do, and two, whatever you do will have limited or very, very short-term impact. To give you a few examples, in one of our projects that we're implementing with funding from the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, we're putting together a marriage of sorts between players in the private sector, solar energy companies that generate power from solar power plants, and communities, and that too women's groups within those communities who will store and distribute electricity from the solar power that's been generated by the private companies. We hope to make models that will, in villages, replace diesel consumption, diesel that's used for the production of electricity, by about 60 to 80%. In another project, which actually has been one of our flagships for quite some time, we run solar-powered microgrids. But the interesting thing about these microgrids is that they fuel production and not consumption. And therefore, we don't see village communities as consumers or customers of whom we need to make money, but in fact the approach is how would you put more money into their pockets. So the big question we ask at Development Alternatives is whether the resources, the finances made available through the COP processes, is whether those resources are reaching micro, small and medium entrepreneurs on the ground who actually have a very big role to play in building a cleaner, more sustainable future.